another speed build. Today I am building a fixer-upper cottage. However, this one is slightly different in that I've made this one playable, whereas my previous ones are definitely not playable. They're more of like a straight up fixer-upper sort of house that you just go in and renovate. But this one I wanted to make it playable, maybe for I don't know, challenge gameplay, or for any of you who just like to torture your Sims. So yeah, everything is functional in this house. So I thought maybe for a rags to riches style gameplay, if you don't mind cheating in the beginning, and you know, these Sims that live here could probably, I don't know, just work their way up and replace things and, you know, fix things up kind of as they make money. So I saw a couple of pictures on Pinterest of abandoned houses, and I really liked the roofing on them, in that, you know, a lot of them had tiles missing and holes, and I've done one previously where I had like a hole in the roof, but it just doesn't quite look the same in The Sims, you know. So I wanted to give it another go and just see what I could do. So what you are seeing right now is me creating a frame, I suppose, of the roof that I've already created, and I will start adding the tiles to this frame so that I can create the roof. So I have used the chopping board, the wall decoration chopping board from the Cool Kitchen pack, and originally I didn't really know what color I wanted to use, so I go with blue, as you will see in a little bit, but from the thumbnail I'm sure you've seen it's definitely not blue. But I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest, so I kind of just winged it initially. So you know, I do make a couple of mistakes here and there, which I haven't cut out, but I have kind of shown you the before and after, if that makes sense. So like I said, I'm trying to create a frame here. It looks a little bit confusing because most of these I didn't need. I was just trying to figure out kind of where things went and if I'd need extra tiles in places, you know. So this is mistake number one. I started doing them across the bottom like this, and then realized that once I had done kind of the second and third layer, that the tiles were, you know, overlapped in the wrong place and they were basically upside down. So once I figured that out, I then put them up the top like this and just used the tool mod to rotate these at 45-degree angle, which is the basic degree of the roof. Does that make sense? Basic degree of the roof? I don't know, you understand what I mean. So it was really simple to rotate. I made a mistake the first time, and I had rotated everything at 45 degrees and then realized that when I went to overlap them, they didn't quite line up with the frame that I had already built, so I then rotated them another 10 degrees to make it a 55-degree rotation, which enabled me to overlap them like this and create a really nice kind of weathered shingled look. So I placed them slightly different heights and into the wooden beam, like clipped them into the wooden beam just slightly to create kind of different heights and different shapes, I suppose. It's not really a shape, but you can see what I mean. Just to make some of the tiles look a little bit smaller, some a little bit bigger. They overlap in different places. And then when it came to the corners, I just kind of clipped them into each other just to hide some of the gaps. So these are, it's a spoon and a wand from the Realm of Magic pack, which I again rotated with the tool I couldn't tell you what rotation because I rotated them a lot. But these ones are just 90 degrees, these ones. And then I used these to just give the roof a little bit more detail. The footprint on them is pretty big, so I did have to keep on moving them, putting them back, moving them, just so that I could work more on the roof. So in total, this whole hand tiling took me about 7.5 hours. So it did take me quite a while, but I'm really pleased with the end result. So what I did on the first side, I basically just repeated all over the roof and then used the tool mod just to lower them slightly. I did offset the second row, and then I do this with all of the other rows just to make it look a little bit different so that each row isn't, you know, identical. And then I just didn't select the whole row when I went to like add another layer, just so that I didn't have like unnecessary tiles. So underneath the roof, if you kind of put the tab camera in there, it basically looks like a proper roof instead of just having like random tiles in places that you don't need them. So these spoons I end up like duplicating and rotating up the other way to create this kind of shape. I originally was going to add tiles right up to the spoon that I had placed the first one, but then I ended up with like a giant gap and I just couldn't get the tiles to line up properly without them, you know, sticking out in places. So I added the second spoon underneath just to cover up that weird gap that, you know, the concave of the spoon, is that what it's called? I don't know. To basically just cover up the gap. And as we get further down to the edge of the roof, I end up adding another layer, but then having to use the height elevation to lower them down through, basically through the floor, to create kind of like a, I don't know, more of a weathered look, because then when I like reduce the size of the floor to make it actually look like a roof, you know, some of the tiles disappeared. They just deleted, which created a really nice kind of patchwork sort of effect on the bottom level, which I hadn't planned for, but yeah, I liked the look of it, so I just kind of left it. And then I added the single strip pieces of roof just to add the like the wall at the front in, so I could, you know, still paint it and things. So now you can see that I am changing the color swatches of these chopping boards. So like I said earlier, I hadn't really planned on a color that I was going with. I did think about using the red one, then I thought, oh no, I'll just use the blue one because I like blue roofs. But the picture that I had was kind of like this in that it was a little bit patchworky, so I thought the brown swatches, since there's 3 or 4 different ones, I thought they would be really nice. So all I did to create those holes was just delete the tiles that I didn't want in just a nice shape. And then add some you know, landscaping items in there. So quite a lot of these bushes are from the vampires pack in the roof, so I thought they created a nice, you know, I don't know, abandoned kind of not taken care of look. The ivy that I have used on the outside is from Discover University. I thought it was a really nice kind of colour swatch, that brown, but not all of them are like have come in that brown colour. Most of them stay green, and I think this world is set in spring, like early spring, so obviously none of the flowers are blooming, everything's just bare and just no leaves. So I wanted it to all kind of have that, even though it's set in spring, have the autumnal kind of look to it. So I did notice that there's a green swatch in this chopping board, which I thought would be really nice to add in different places around the holes, just to kind of make it look, I don't know, like moss or algae just where the rains come into the holes. I just thought it added a nice extra little detail. I did struggle trying to figure out what I wanted on the walls, but I end up going with I think it's this one from the Spooky Stuff pack, I believe, and then on the roof pieces I use a I think it's like a shingle wall from the Cats and Dogs pack. So starting on the doors and windows, here I just put an archway, and then on the kind of front door area I add another archway, but I end up creating like a open door sort of situation. So there's a door on the back here. I will put a door on the back here. This one is the one that my sim went through when I was playtesting, so I'm not sure whether sims can get through this front door, whether it's because of the door or whether it's because of some of the items that are placed on the floor. It's probably more to do with that, but I wanted to create this kind of nice open door kind of look. I had to resize these doors because they didn't quite fit. But I think it just, like, I don't know, I just like the look of things being run down. I don't know why. So these fence pieces I again rotated at 45 degrees and just placed them through the holes just to kind of give it more structure, or to make it look like it once had a structure. So if anybody would like to give this a go, renovating it, it's probably looks like a bit of a mission. But I did place all of those roof tiles, as you saw, on a floor piece, so I'm pretty sure all you would have to do is just delete the whole floor piece, and it should delete all of those tiles. Maybe there'll be a few on the edges that it won't delete, where I've had to, you know, raise the odd one up on the edge just to give it kind of a, I don't know, a different look. But yeah, you should just be able to delete the whole floor piece on the top, and it should delete the whole roof for you. Or, you know, you can save it, do whatever you want with it. So I'm just adding some more like terrain pieces around the building. I did really struggle to find like wall ivy and things that was in the same color as these ones from Discover University. The base game ones are kind of a grey green, and the vampires ones, well, you can see they're kind of just, I don't know, not the right color. They're bright red, or they're, I don't know, like white, which I didn't want at all. So I kind of have used them, but I've also covered them up a little bit too, just to, I don't know, make it look like it is meant to be there. I know, like, obviously not all plants are the same colors, and when you have a look at old buildings and things, they all have different shades of brown and grey and whatever. So I thought, you know, it still looks nice. So these wall pieces are Cats and Dogs debug items. I originally saw these when the paranormal stuff came out. I was going to build a haunted house with these around the outside, because the cemetery archway that came with Cats and Dogs matches these really well, and it's just got like a nice like green kind of mossy look to it, and obviously there's like the broken wall pieces, so I thought it would make a really nice wall, like external wall for like a haunted house or one of these types of houses. So I really wanted to use it in this one, and then I've just placed another Cats and Dogs fence through the middle of it. These ones I think are the ones that are on the beach just behind this lot, and I thought it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of just looked nice. It looked like it matched. So here I am adding you know, landscaping. There isn't really much to it. I didn't want to add a lot because, like I said, I still wanted it to be mostly playable, and because it's set in spring, all of these plants are the color that they are and not green. So I think if you were to play this like in the summer, it probably wouldn't look quite the same. But going on to the inside, I did have a lot of fun with the interior on this one. I don't know what it is about making things look trashed and dirty and disgusting, but it's a lot of fun. And if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend that you do, because it's a different style of decorating, and you know, you can't really get it wrong. It's just, if it looks gross, you've done a good job. So I don't know whether maybe you can add too much, but I just thought, you know, I'll just add it everywhere and it just looks yucky. So like I said about people that like to torture their Sims, this is probably the perfect house because it's really gross. And I'm not really sure whether it came with the base game or whether it's a mod that I have. I'm pretty sure it did come with the base game, but if you like shift click on things, then you can make them dirty, and that's basically what I've done with everything. All the appliances, all of the surfaces, everything in this house, I've made them gross. And there's some items, I'm pretty sure it came with the cats and dogs pack, that would make sense, that you can, you know, shift click again and make things scratched. So you'll see in some of the shots in the tour in a little bit that, you know, some things are scratched, some things are disgustingly dirty. The kitchen counters that I've used, that I've done that too, they kind of have like a weird line on them, and I'm not really sure why, but they're dirty, so that's all I was really bothered about. I kind of got to this point in here where I had that like dresser, the broken dresser from the eco pack in there. I got to that point and I thought, no, I want this to be, you know, playable, usable, so I ended up changing it out for a functional one. And then when it comes to these pictures, I just kind of rotated them again with a tool to make them look like they were falling off the walls. So I'm using the country kitchen kit counters in this build. I did use them previously in my last build in the castle, but I would like to say thank you to Miss Unfortunate for gifting me this pack, because it's honestly everything that I could have ever hoped for in kitchens. But I really liked the look of these because they're already quite worn and they're really easy to rotate. The corner ones not so much because they rotate on a diagonal, but all of the others I thought were really nice to rotate and just make them look like they're kind of just hanging off the wall. So yeah, I like the look of these, and I tried to kind of offset some of the end counter pieces just to kind of give it an extra nice look. So as you can see, I'm now going through making everything dirty and scratched and gross. But yeah, if you look at these counters, like they've got weird like lines through the middle, and I understand like the circle cut marks and things, but not the stripy lines. That doesn't make any sense to me. But still, they're gross and I love it. So adding lots of scratches and things. All of these are from the vampires pack and the I think maybe cats and dogs, I'm not sure if I've actually used any, and the Strangerville pack. So if you don't have either of those, none of these wall pieces, you know, these gross wall pieces will show up. The floor piece that you can see there, like the dirt rug thing, dirt hole, is a rug from the celebrity pack, Get Famous. It looks like 3 rugs, like a void critter kind of kids rug, but if you look at the different swatches, they're all completely different, and this is one of them, which I'm very happy about because it looks gross and I love it. So in here I was going to use that big sofa, but it's just a little bit too big, and you know, this house is quite small. So I end up just going with some armchairs. So these 2 chairs and a lamp that I use are from the City Living pack. I think you can get them from one of the festivals as like, not junk items, but I don't really know what they're called. But they have the same kind of effect that I wanted, that kind of grungy look. So I don't add anything else up here other than this TV and a picture that again looks like it's falling off the wall. I make use of the green floor decoration rug thingies from I think they're from Strangerville too. They come in 3 different swatches, a red one, a green one, and like a grey kind of one, so I think they look really cool. This table is from the Spooky Stuff pack. It fits in really well with the rest of this house, so I just add a couple of decorations rotated with tool again to make it kind of look like it's been used, but it's still kind of gross. And the only other thing that I really add in this build is mouse holes, which I think again came with City Living maybe. But again, if you shift click on them, then you can set the kind of activity level, and I've set them to like extreme. And as you will see in the tour in just a second, they are pretty active. So if you would like to download this, it is on the gallery. I also upload all of the tray files to my Tumblr, which is in the description below. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this tour.